Okay, so I actually started a little earlier today. I mean, I always start around this time, but I was watching the charts a little earlier in gold, and I noticed this push above yesterday's close, which is here. It may be a little cluster now, but basically the point is what I mean by this is that I haven't established yet this gap, but it's not. It's kind of about to open near the yesterday's close, so it doesn't really matter much in this case. Quite small gap. But the thing is here, when this inside bar was confirmed, like 9:20 New York local time, so I noticed this bar it opened, and I thought at first that it actually took the low, but actually it was just equal low from the inside bar and this current bar. So I actually automatically bought there. It's quite small risk, so it's really okay. Thing is, the price as soon as I bought, it's just really strong momentum to the upside. It came all the way up. It didn't break the high. I was planning to add, or I'm actually still planning to add above the inside bar high if it answers, if it continues higher. It's like 1 minute and a half almost around to the open, so it could I could possibly get stopped out, but I feel like this was a really great volume to the upside. It's a quite really clean break. So if it is to hold above, it is likely to come up here and take yesterday's high and the daily swing that I actually had outlined yesterday, which price didn't get there. But let's see what happens. I don't know. I'm just gonna monitor for a little bit and see what happens around the open. This is basically, I think to me, it was actually a pretty great trade in the sense that setup wise, it actually really good. The only thing that might be a little bit off is that it is prior to the open. So yeah, could possibly, well, could push either way. I think if the price is to push now, I think it possibly could hold above this inside bar high and then just continue in the opening push. But let's see. That's just a thought of mine. So we'll see what happens in 45 seconds. One thing is, if it breaks the high of this bar and it tags me in, I'm gonna reduce my risk to this bar low here. So it's well, we'll be fine. Same for Nasdaq actually. It's opening really close to the yesterday's close, so the gap is basically meaningless to even trace it here. So even in gold, I'm gonna have it there, but I'm gonna just pretty much get rid of it pretty quickly. So let's see what happens in a couple of seconds. What he wants to do and what's the well, where he wants to head for the day, or maybe he just want to consolidate or whatever. I have no idea what's gonna be. This is the open here. I'm not gonna add on the open. I'm gonna actually wait for the break to the upside. If it continues to hold above the entry like it is doing now,
Order filled.
yeah, I'm gonna reduce to the opening low, which is still like really quite tiny risk. If he wants to find momentum and continue to trade higher, it will be nice. If he doesn't, well, I'm not gonna do. But if this setup is good, like the price respected the inside buy low, and then he wants to trade higher, it should not trade lower, like from this opening bar. But of course it could, but it's just a thought. I think it makes no sense for me to assume extra risk, especially after I added one trade up here. So I'm letting it be for now, and whatever it does from now on is actually okay. I'm also monitoring this high here. What I mean by that is around this high, if it tags there, I will reduce my risk even more. But ideally, I will actually like to have a close above this range if he wants to continue higher. And then I will maybe see if I can add one more position, one more, how to say, one more contract to my trade. If it breaks there, if it doesn't, well, we'll see. But I think this is good. Yeah, this is nice. The break is clean, so the trade is good. So for me, at this point, there's no point to take a loss, as I always say. So if he wants to stop me out of the market, it has to be a break even, not below entry. It would be great if this leg that is creating at the open will be, of course, to the upside and away from this small range here from the inside bar. But yeah, I'm gonna sit and wait, see what happens with it. I'm gonna just let it play for now, and I will come back to the video afterwards. Let's see what happens. Okay, so actually, as soon as I closed the stream from the last video, price came down and stopped me out in break even. But then I noticed also that it's just holding above here, so I decided just to jump in again. So I actually bought not two contracts, but only one. So risk is pretty much similar to the initial trade. And then, well, profit is less, but it doesn't actually matter. I think I like the fact that yes, it traded lower. It is normal. It can come and retest, but it's been holding up there, so I think it's good. So let's see what he wants to do. Gonna let it be for there now, and let's see if he either wants to stop me out or what. Okay, so that trade actually wouldn't hold either. So
Order filled.
I just gonna stop out small risk, and actually now what I did was I just waited for this bar to to this current small range gap here, and then to the 50% and the previous bar low. So I actually bought here, which is like about 100 risk. So yeah, I just gotta stop out there. Let's see what happens. NQ seems to be more keen to the outside. I'm gonna wait for this current bar to see what it closes, and maybe if I get some possible retest to the downside, I might just take it and maybe go for this daily gap here from this previous day. Okay, just a quick small update. Actually, well, after I got stopped out here, I noticed this price just keeps breaking here. So within this same bar, actually, when I noticed it was just coming back to retest, I actually shorted this previous structure from the regular trading hours. Same to Nasdaq actually. I'm having both charts now in regular trading hours, so I was monitoring this bar here on Nasdaq to see how it will play out, and it just came a little bit back after the taking after it took these lows here. So what I did was when this bar opened and it retested a little higher, I actually shorted here when it came back down. So yeah, I'm aiming. I think Nasdaq could possibly keep trading lower and maybe touch somewhere near this daily gap. I'm gonna let it be for now. And then same for gold. What I'm actually aiming for in gold is maybe, I don't know if it's gonna fill the gap or not, but at least I'm pretty much going for the low hanging fruit, which is the low of the actual gap here, which is basically yesterday's opening low. But of course, that's just analysis, and it could actually do nothing of that. So let's see what he wants to hit. I like the fact that, well, Nasdaq traded higher at the open and then it literally just failed, closing lower. So I think this is a pretty good indication that it might actually have a decent extension to the downside with the range. And similar to gold here, it went higher, it retested this structure from yesterday's consolidation from the regular trading hours, and then it tanked down. Might not be the best close when it comes to a down bar of this one, but I like the fact that it just actually closed lower, and then volume is actually quite good to the downside. So let's see if there is a possible continuation, and maybe gold gets heavy as well as Nasdaq. I will eventually soon start to reduce my risk because I like the fact that this is retested here. I believe it is. Let me check the prices. 33400 high 33475. Actually, is good. Yeah. So this is definitely, well, it's clearly being confirmed to the downside with this push. So I'm gonna start reducing my risk on Nasdaq and also soon in the gold. I would actually like to see this bar trading stronger lower, this one, before I do anything else here. But of course, at this point, after gold going a little lower when it comes in profits, so I'm not gonna take a full loss at this point. So it's not like I'm gonna just be hanging there, seeing how it goes back up. So I'm gonna let it be for now, of course, but I'm gonna start reducing this risk pretty much soon. Well, Nasdaq basically it makes no sense to have a loss at this point, in my opinion. So I'm gonna keep it somewhat near break even, and then go. Let's see what it wants to do. Or it could definitely do this like Nasdaq that many times. That's many times. Like also the Dow that's many times. Like they trade really strong down, and then you can see like a huge week, and then well it just bounces. But whatever. The trade was good. The retest was good. The short was good. So I'm happy with whatever outcome comes after this. So it's fine. This is kind of normal to see this because this is retesting a structure here from the regular trading hours. So it's normal to see this like these bounces. I don't know if it's gonna bounce entirely and go up or it's gonna just continue down, but we'll see if he wants to actually find the extra momentum. So I'm aware that it could retest. I don't know if it's gonna close below this structure here and this low here. If it does, it could possibly just come and retest, or even within the same bar and then continue tanking. So let's see. Let's see what it wants to head. So I continue to follow my trades. Well, gold seems to be getting heavy after this second bar. Once I enter, I don't know if it's gonna break the lows and continue or whatever it wants to do after this. But Nasdaq, well, the close is really not good in a sense. But even though, yeah, it is a down bar. So this current bar, I don't know if it's gonna be an inside bar, if it's gonna continue pushing. It didn't seem to wanna go higher. It retested this structure here after it closed somewhat below here, kind of really soft. So it's not like a really good close or something like clean. So I'm waiting. I decided it was, as I said earlier, since I was in a decent profit, it makes no sense for me to take any losses. So I remained break even here in Nasdaq, and also I moved break even in gold after this bar started breaking here. So I'm gonna see. I will definitely like to see a close below this range here, this consolidation. And if it does, well, I could possibly just, I would say, continue tanking. I don't know if it's likely to fill this gap here entirely. I think if it is to continue, it could definitely touch somewhere here. I don't know. I was thinking maybe I exit here or here, but yeah, let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna let it be. One definitely good spot for me to exit, regardless of if the price continues lower, is basically here. Why? Because this is the opening of yesterday price, and I know for experience that the opening prices are at really sensitive levels to price. It could definitely just come retest and keep going to the upside for these highs here, or it could just tank. But since I don't know, well, I have to decide, make a decision, and see where I want to get out. Even if it actually hits here, if it actually gonna trade lower or not, we'll see. Regardless of here or here, I think the trade is actually pretty good trade, so I'm gonna let it play it out, and I'm gonna also let's not top it out. I'm also monitoring the overall profits here. If it gets to a point that I consider is good to get out, before none of them touching, I would probably just leave the market. Why? Because it's not the first time that I execute trades like this in two assets, and then the number overall is good, but then I actually kind of wait too much for the market to hit my target, and normally those trades ends in break even or some just mismanaged trade. So yeah, I'm letting it be. I'm gonna see what happens. So far, they are both heading where they are supposed to head, which is down. I like the fact that it's just heavy. I like when gold gets heavy in either direction because it just trays. Like, it takes a direction and it just actually feels like it's dropping, like by steps or something. So let's see what he wants to do. I think this on itself is an amazing trade on gold. So yeah, see if he wants to just break this low here and just tag me out or whatever. This point, I think I'm good. I'm gonna let it be here. That's fine because it could definitely come back up and retest this area here. This bar is actually pretty amazing. I like the close. Actually, I think the momentum is quite strong, so I'm gonna let it be because it could definitely just continue tanking because I don't think there's gonna be an upside anytime soon after this strong close. I don't know. Let's see. I hope that I'm not hoping or doing some stupid shit, which happens sometimes. Price now tested the open. I'm gonna let it be. I assume this. I assume the locked in and so forth. So yeah, let's see. I think it should still continue lower, but we'll figure it out. I'm gonna find out soon, I guess. I would like to see also Nasdaq breaking as it's breaking here below this high here and maybe closing within this range here and below this bar here. Why? Because this was a small consolidation or retest from yesterday, and then the market just pushed higher from here. So I want to see like market not respecting this level here. So that means that it could definitely come for the lows or somewhere here, like this low here, for example. But we'll see. Nasdaq actually, with Nasdaq, gold had a pretty I would say normal retracement upwards after taking these lows here and almost tagging the open. I think it didn't. I'm not sure. Let me actually check. The open of this bar is 0.433 and the low of this bar is 0.432. So yeah, actually it did tag. Nice. Let's see. I mean, it could do many things from here. It could retest and it could just basically trade higher. It could just, create an inside bar and then maybe take the high or the low and continue tanking. But I will see. I'll find out. Regardless of the outcome, I think it was a really good trade. Actually, Nasdaq is doing something pretty crazy now. It took the previous bar high and it almost stopped me out in break even, but I don't know if it's going to continue higher or not. If this bar trades back lower, in meaning that it is respecting this area here, I could possibly add another trade here. If it does, if it doesn't, I'm just gonna remain out of the market. I'm not gonna do anything else there. We'll see. See what it wants to do. I like the fact that when it opened pretty strong and then just went and take the high. So yeah, let's see if it wants to come here again. If it doesn't, if I get stopped out, I'm not gonna execute this trade. And I'm just gonna basically wait to see what gold is going to do. All right, back to it. Nasdaq basically just kept trading higher, so I got stopped out below break even. Well, sadly didn't continue lower, and but it's part of the trading, part of the business. So let's see. Gold is currently still trading within this range here, small range here. And yeah, I'm waiting to see like if it's gonna retest maybe this swing. I definitely love this close that it just didn't respect none of that. So it just closed below this small range here from yesterday. This was probably my entry, and then also this consolidation here. So it is possible that let's see if it comes up and retests it, and what happens with this current bar. If it's gonna be somewhat an inside bar, and then to try continue lower. If it is an inside bar, I am possibly adding. Maybe not at the high, but at the low. because I want to see the price. If it takes the high, if there's an inside bar, I want to see the price respecting that level and basically trading lower, meaning that sellers will be stepping in and the market is likely to continue its way down. So if I get a chance, I'm going to run my position maybe one more contract, maybe two, but let's see. But so far I'm remaining risk-free and break-even here. So I mean, sorry, locked in profit. So I'm not gonna touch it for now. I'm gonna wait for this bar to see what happens and what the market wants to do after that. I actually did something here in gold. I think I could have been a little bit uh, too fast, but anyway, point was the inside bar is here, it is confirmed, and then the price quickly retested. Just it took the high, retesting this structure here. So then this bar started trading lower, a little lower here, tiny bit, and then I actually, when it broke its low, I actually decided to add here. I didn't want to wait for the whole range. I know it was a little extra risk, but still I remained pretty much well here, break even. If you want to stop me out, fine, it's okay. But yeah, there's also this structure up here, which is also good. I've also been retested. Let's see, I'm not sure if it's got there already. Low is 0.683 and high is 0.681. So yeah, it's not there yet. But anyway, whatever it wants to do is fine. I think it was a little bit maybe too early to add to that trade. So I should have said should have done as I said earlier. Just wait for the actual answer and then maybe see if he wants to trade lower. But yeah, but regardless of that, what I can do. The trade is taken. Now is risk is assumed. Whatever it does is fine by me. Okay, so what happened? Basically, well, I didn't get stopped out pretty much by quite a little, at least not yet. And then I noticed, well, the bar is just closed a little lower, higher high with a lower volume. It's okay. It's not like crazy, but still like kind of, well, it's good. And then as soon as this bar actually opened, price started tanking actually in a pretty good momentum. So what I'm doing is I remain risk free. So I think if this is to trade below the low of the inside bar, I'm going to add another trade here. Regardless of whatever happens, I don't care. I'm going to remain break even. But I believe that if it trades below the low, it is quite likely that it's going to break these lows here and going to come and hit the gap maybe, like around this low pretty much. Let's see if he wants to do that. If he doesn't, well, nothing to do. I cannot force it. So far, I feel like the price action is stronger to the downside. I can even feel the momentum in price. Like when it's trading higher, it's really like struggling kind of to get there. But when it's trading lower, it's just literally like pounding the price. So let's see. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what he wants to do. If he actually want to head somewhere down or not, or well, if I just get stopped out there, that's also fine. So if I get stopped out, definitely I'm gonna keep waiting. I'm not gonna execute anything else beside that. So I probably will just cancel my up here in the lower one, whatever it does from there. So let's see. This is actually funny. I think I just did well. I locked in some more after it broke the low. Why this still says -2? Because I guess I don't know. I'm not fully aware about it. I guess there was some restrictions to gold that they actually implemented and silver and so on. So basically, I'm not allowed to add more than two contracts. So I let it be there because just as a reminder for myself, this is a really good execution here in the law of the inside bar after the high was taken and rejected. So I believe it is still to trade lower. I don't know. It could fail. But the point of the trade taken, even if it was the first trade, this would be actually a really good trade, regardless of if it comes up and stop out or whatever. It stop me out or whatever. So let's see. But well, sadly, I cannot grow my position more. So it is what it is. So I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna either be stopped out in profits or price is likely to continue lower. I would like to see definitely a continuation from here after the low was taken. But let's see. Let's see what he wants to head next. Definitely, I want to see not just continuation, but also like a possible close below the inside bar, and hopefully a break of these lows here. Let's see. One thing that I'm noticing in Nasdaq is that there's a well. Let's see if it's gonna confirm this inside bar here after the price came back up. If it does confirm an inside bar, I'm gonna buy either the low or the high and go for this regulatory hour high that I have outlined here. Because I think after this failure, if the price is to trend, continue higher, it should continue from here, from some retest maybe of the open or something like that. So I'm gonna wait to see if it gives me an entry, and if it does, then I'm gonna take it with some basically small size, maybe one contract here on NQ. If it wants to, I would like to see the retest of the open together with the inside buy low But anyway, I'm going to execute a stop buy on the high and a stop buy on the low as well. If it tags me on the low of the inside bar first, let's say, and then it trades higher and tags me on the high, I'm going to continue. I'm going to add the trade actually. But if the price tags me in now on the upper part, I'm not going to add this losing trade. So I'm going to let only one contract play it out, and actually I'm going to define my risk somewhere here. I'm not going to like execute a long here higher and then add lower. I said before, I think in a video, that I haven't had to add to a losing trade in over a year, so I'm not gonna start doing it now. So if it does that, let's see. So far I think it broke the high. Let's see, high is 405.00, 405.75. So yeah, it did actually broke the high of the inside bar, but it didn't execute my trade because I had a little offset to the upside. So let's see. It was good actually that it didn't get triggered. That's actually really good. I don't, most of the time I try to not to execute right at the high of the inside bar. I actually give like a couple of points.
Order filled.
So for example, like now after this retest, I'm not gonna take the whole thing as my risk. I'm gonna use this current bar, which is the bar that broke, trade lower, and then came back up. So I'm gonna let it be there. As I said, I'm not gonna like over aim because I think this might be too far. So I'm actually let it be there, and I'm going to risk free after I actually noticed this pretty good close here. I mean, pretty good momentum as after I
Order
enter.
filled.
So yeah. And now, well, basically gold got stopped out. Sadly, it wouldn't hold, it wouldn't continue. So yeah, it's a no can do. In this case, I'm gonna get rid of this and forget about this trade. And let's see if Nasdaq want to hit somewhere here after this push to the upside. I noticed it was since yesterday it's been resisting a little bit here. I remember I had this gap that it was not filled from here. It's basically filled now. Let's see if he wants to try higher and continue. And maybe if it does, well, I could, well, maybe, I don't know if I'm gonna hit, but either way now it's fine for me, to be honest. I don't really care about trade. The trade was pretty good in my opinion. It's an A plus setup for me. So if he wants to tag, let's see. Gold, I'm gonna let it be, I think, for now. And if I am too short, I want to see a close maybe below this here. If I see a close, I could maybe take a trade, but I need to see something really clean in order to engage again. So I'm not gonna take like when I'm not gonna short again just out of nowhere. So I'm just gonna wait. All right. So basically, well, Nasdaq just came back up. It took the high of this gap here, also the yesterday's high, which is basically also this one here, and now it's rejecting. I gotta stop out a little bit above break even. So yeah, let's see what he wants to do from now. I like this, how this body is actually printing. I would like to see it close nicely down, like strong down. And if it does that, I'm likely to short Nasdaq actually. But I want to see it closing around here. What is now? Let's see. Then it is possible because the setup is actually quite good. But of course, it needs to close lower and it needs to be lower volume. And it seems like the volume is increasing. So I'm not 100% sure if it's actually gonna be a good setup or what. But I don't know. If you start rejecting, then it's likely to be just a bad close, and well, I just should probably let it be. But so far, volume is already higher than the previous bar, so yeah, and the close is actually, I mean, the wick rejection is actually bad. If it was straight lower, I would have wanted to see something like a close below here, but without this wick. Now this wick means that there is buyers stepping in here. It retested the inside bar low. It's also a possible long and at the open. So yeah. I don't want to short again. I wanna see maybe if it closes and retests here, I might buy the open again because I have seen many times where prices comes back down, takes the low of the inside bar, and then just keeps pushing. So let's see. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. This is a good entry, but it's not the cleanest. I'm aware of that. So we'll see. Let's see what he wants to do. Okay, this bar, I'm gonna let it retest, and if it breaks the high, I'm gonna buy Nasdaq here with two contracts because the risk is gonna be quite little, or it's gonna be smaller. So see if it does that. If it comes and breaks the low, then I'm not gonna execute this trade. I need this bar to actually break its own high, basically. Gold, it was good. Higher high with lower volume. That's also a pretty good thing for me, but I don't know if it's to tank after this took the low. Let's see. Yeah, I was tempted to sell gold, but no. This is not. If it was an inside bar, yes, but it's not. So I'm gonna let it be. and see. I don't care if he actually comes and hit the gap. Is whatever. It's really is whatever. I'm not. I don't have FOMO. I don't mind being left out of the market, so it's okay. I'm just gonna let it continue play it out and see, for example, Nasdaq what he wants to do. I'm also aware that this is not the cleanest entry. I think it's good because, well, there is a big volume, but the price itself is not responding. There is buyers here trying to push the market higher. So I believe that if this bar breaks its own high, that it could be a possible push up, maybe taking this regular trading hours high. And also maybe if it wants to continue for the rest of the day higher, it could possibly get here around the 25,631 level. But yeah, that's just well, a thought and possible analysis of my based on my knowledge and based on what I've seen. So let's see what he wants to do. I know there is a risk that it just probably it could break his own high and then come back down. If it does it, well, it's also fine. The risk is assumed. So if I get triggered in on my trade, this is gonna be my stop, because if I am on the right side of the market, this bar should not come down and break its own low. But we'll see. I'm about to find out. Actually, just as a follow up, well, this bar, like a couple of seconds ago, it came higher, breaking its own high. So I got triggered, as I said, and I am with a very little risk locked at this low. I know it could come stop me out. Even this bar, if it stops me out at the low, I'm gonna buy it again. Why? Because this rejection here, I like it. The price came back, it shifted higher here, and also this is the open here. So it could possibly just take the low and then trade higher. I've seen this many times where this is actually a case study of me that I've been studying how price behaves on the retest of the opening prices, but also if there is an inside bar around this level. And most of the time that I've seen, at least, when it does that, it could easily just, in this case, you can just buy the high or buy the low and see what he wants to do. Possibly, well, if he wants to trade higher, good. If he doesn't, nothing to do. But we'll see. I'm about to find out, I guess. I could possibly add to my trade if he breaks the high. I want to put it here, and I want to see breaking around this level here if he wants to continue higher. Like I said, this risk is assumed. I could actually, if I want to put it here, if it stops me out, it will stop me at a smaller loss. But yeah, if it triggers me in, let's see the risk, and then I'm gonna measure, see what's going on. Because if this bar breaks the high, of course it could definitely come all the way down and take the low and then trade higher. Of course, it's the market, but yeah, I'm definitely not gonna assume 100% risk of this position anymore. So it's okay. And well, back to trade. I'm actually focusing more on gold. It's not clean, so I'm actually more focused on Nasdaq now. Of course, I have an extra risk now because, well, with the contract that I added, I'm aware that I could just be stopped up or whatever. I could take this low here, but price can do anything now, so I'm gonna remain somewhere here, locked in with the risk defined. If it is to trade higher, it should not definitely. I mean, I would like to see that it just continues and remains above the high of the inside bar. But we'll see. I'm gonna find out. I think this was good. It was a good execution here, but also a really good add up in the high of the inside bar. So let's see what he wants to do. I would like to see definitely this range being broken, and also if it tags the regular trading hour high that I have there. We'll see. I'm gonna be break even as soon as the price breaks here, if it breaks here. Otherwise, I'm just gonna take a lower risk, a low, which is also okay. Okay, actually, well, I actually decided that when this bar was around here, I decided to lower my risk around here. So I actually got stopped out in this initial trade for like minus 40 or something. But then I think, I'm not sure if I actually made a small mistake here with this trade. I like the fact that it traded higher, it rejected, and then it just closed strongly down with the lower volume. So I was thinking, yeah, you could just continue then, probably lower. So I actually waited for this bar. When it opened, I actually shorted. But I'm not sure if I was a little bit too early, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know, not 100% sure about this trade, if honest. Maybe I should just close it. It's also possible. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure what to do in this case. It rejected, I mean, it traded like already 1 or 2 times higher, and then it traded down, but I'm not sure if it is to hold. It's still like the risk is not anything crazy, but it's just the fact that I'm not sure about the trade itself. Like if it actually, after the rejection, it's gonna do something or not, but I think it's not. I'm gonna just close the trade.
Order filled.
There's no point. Right, so basically, well, Nasdaq got stopped out as I basically closed it earlier, and then gold. Why I shorted here? Basically, well, I noticed that the price is, well, volume is concentrated here, so the value area is getting lower after the price open, which is good. And I noticed that after the price took the high and retested up here again, this basically kind of how to say this void on the volume side, it just started trading lower and quickly. I felt like it was really strong. So what I did was I actually, when it broke the low of this bar and then retested and then came back down, I shorted here. I shorted this around this bar here. So yeah, seems like it is quite heavy. In at least this bar, it was actually pretty strong and clean to the downside. I like the close. So let's see if he wants to tank again. I don't know. I'm same target. I'm not gonna like over aim or something like that. I'm still taking the low hanging fruit. If he wants to trade lower, I'm not gonna go any further than this. Not out of fear. It's just because, well, I am aware already that regardless of me taking some small losses, I did left some decent profit on the table after actually I didn't close my overall trades that I had earlier. But still, that's also fine. It happens and it's part of the business. So not every day is going to be a huge day, or not every day is going to be even green. So I think besides that, I'm managing pretty well. I'm actually going to remove even the risk in gold here. There's no point after that push to take a loss. So yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. Nasdaq seems to be more keen to the upside now again. So I'm not engaging because I feel at this point I'm just chasing price and I don't like it. So I'm just gonna wait if he wants to give something good. If not, then I probably will maybe be out of the market earlier today. I'm monitoring this retest here, this swing here on gold after that break. If it is to trade lower, I would like to see definitely this bar rejecting soon to the downside. Okay, so back to the charts. Well, I started monitoring gold here after this bar. It retested higher, didn't get stopped out there. And then this bar actually opened again. It's quite heavy, so it feels heavy to the downside. Let's see if he wants to take the loss and continue lower. I decided to lock in about this current buy high because the price should not get there unless he wants to just basically reverse or remain ranging. So yeah, I think trade is good. I'm good with it. I think this more than possibly my last trade of the day. I feel a little tired, and I actually have already my alarm 23 minutes, so that's gonna be basically my daily limit. I'm gonna trade until 6 o'clock my time, and that's pretty much
Order
it. And after
filled.
this trade, I'm actually not even gonna trade anymore. I'm gonna let it be. Like I said earlier, I am aware that, well, I could have taken a better day, but it's still okay. It's a good day. It's not anything crazy. I had a pretty good adaptation again, pretty good read to the downside after the failure at the open. Here, basically, one of the main signs why I like this, why I thought about more shorting than buying, is because, well, this is the open here. Sorry, here, this one, and it's basically retesting this consolidation from yesterday in regular trading hours. So once it did that, well, it is, you can say it's a good close, but I don't like the rejection. It's quite bad there. And also the next bar is actually a pretty good thing for me. Why? Because it closed below previous bar here, and also closes below this yesterday's low when it comes to this closing of yesterday. That's actually why I sold the retest there. It could have, of course, traded higher or whatever, but I think it was a pretty great trade. This first one, especially. And well, now gold seems to be getting heavy. I'm out of the market. I don't have, like I said earlier, I don't have any FOMO about this, so it's fine. I'm monitoring. It could possibly get here if it closes below this quadrant, upper quadrant here. Could probably come to 50%, or even it could close it entirely. I mean, I'm not aware of that. I don't know 100%. So what I'm doing is basically playing my odds. I'm trying to put the odds of my side with what I know and what is likely to happen. So yeah, nothing else for me. I'm gonna remain out of the charts. I'm gonna let it play out, and I'm probably gonna come maybe later just for analysis and possible insights and see what I could have done better. And yeah, but other than that, I'm done for today. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna have a break. I'm gonna eat something. So I'm actually gonna get to this again once again. I know that my earlier last video basically I said that I'm not gonna do anything else, but honestly, it was pretty much like similar cases as yesterday. But in this case, it could probably just be a loss. But the point is, after the price tanked here, close. There's a rejection, yes, but the price traded lower, actually quite good, and it closed within the below the yesterday's low and the gap. So I was like, this inside bar here, this is also an A plus with a retest of this prior structure here. I didn't anticipated maybe that it would go that high. What it did, the close was actually pretty good to the upside. One thing I like is that volume to the upside on this both bar is quite lower. So let's see what he wants to do. If it stops me out, it's okay. So something I assume. What I did was basically I literally just risk half of what I had on profit. So regardless of what it does for now, I think I'm good. I think it was not out of FOMO that I executed. It was basically because it makes sense to sell the retest and the high of the inside bar. So if he wants to continue way down, well, he could. And if he does, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna wait for this basically inside buy low to be broken. I'm not gonna add to anything, even though I could. But then if it breaks the inside bar low, I'm gonna break even, and then I'm gonna let it break the low if he wants to, and then maybe come to the 50% of the gap, which is here, basically. But let's see what he wants to do. I don't know. It could just basically pretty much create another inside bar and maybe continue lower. We'll see. But so far, let's see what he wants. I'm gonna continue with my work and let's see what it gets. I'm gonna come back later when see how it plays out. Okay, so well, this is definitely my last video. What happened? It was actually kind of funny in a way. So what happened was I shorted this inside bar high here, and I remember that I actually defined 100, so it was somewhere here. I almost got a stopped out here. There was another inside bar, and then the price traded above the high of it, and then also this previous bar retesting this structure here as well, and then tanking. So well, after that, price just kept trading lower. Not like the best momentum really. It actually took a while and was tiny bars. Even here actually, then it broke, and in this bar here, when it traded lower around here, then I decided to basically remove my risk. So I just got stopped out below break even. So that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna. This is definitely not nowhere to be clean, so I'm not doing anything else really, and that's it. If I don't have like any other A plus that I see in the nearby. Plus, I'm also 15 minutes after 6. I remember that earlier the alarm just ran. So that's it for me. I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna just let it be, and let's see definitely what happens tomorrow.